DOD turns down far-left DC mayor's request for help with illegals bust into her sanctuary city. Well, this is what you get, leftists. You wanted this. You wanted sanctuary cities. So go ahead and take all the illegals and y'all pay for them and not leave it on other states that want nothing to do with it. Y'all, this is what you wanted. So don't cry now. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my merch store. All right, let's talk about this news. On August 5th, the Department of Defense denied D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's request for the National Guard to help her with the thousands of illegal aliens that Texas Governor Greg Abbott has busted into the city since April. Kelly Bolinar Harley, the executive secretary of the DOD, responded to Bowers' July 19th letter to the Office of Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin, writing, quote, after careful consideration, the department has concluded it cannot fulfill your request. You got the sanctuary city, so I think they should also send some to California because there's tons of sanctuary cities out there as well. But Holly highlighted the fact that the city already has access to federal funding through SAMU First Response, a non-governmental organization that has itself received funding via the Emergency Food and Shelter Program by FEMA. Responding to the language of Bowser's request that the influx of over 4,000 illegals constitutes a humanitarian crisis, Holly noted that SAMU First Response, quote, supplements funding for humanitarian relief efforts by government and social service organizations for the purpose of providing shelter and supportive services to families and individuals. In 2016, Bowser asserted that DC was a sanctuary city. Quote, we celebrate our diversity and respect all DC residents no matter their immigration status. Bowser's perceived inconsistency now, in light of her concern over the recent influx of illegals, has been the subject of some ridicule online in recent days. It's super duper hilarious. While Brianna Morello suggested that the request for support by the National Guard might be tantamount to bigotry, Paul Sisbula intimated that Bowser might be prejudiced against foreign nationals. And I love that they're tweeting this stuff out. It's funny. You know, the left eats their own. It happens every time. Abbott office recently suggested to the DC mayor that this, quote, crisis is only a fraction of the disaster unfolding at the southern border, which is true. I mean, how are you going to complain when you were one of the main ones saying we need to protect these illegals? You know, we need to give them money and all this other stuff. And now that there's an influx on your city, now it's a problem. So it shows the hypocrisy. The left is nothing but hypocrisy. That's why I love what is that Twitter handle, L's, left L's or whatever. I'm sorry, it slips my mind right now, but defiant L's, showing that the hypocrisy, but because they'll make one statement and then it could be even less than a month later they'll make the exact opposite statement. But it basically shows that they really have no principles or anything. But in April, Abbott, whom Bowser has since accused of engaging in, quote, cruel political gamesmanship, said of his campaign to send illegals to DC, quote, what better place for them to go than closer to the people making these policies that are allowing people to come across the border illegally. And I agree with that. I mean, because if you're in like New York or, you know, all these other cities that's saying, oh, we need to let these people in and all this other stuff, they're not really affecting your community. So send them to these communities so they can see how they actually affect the community. On August 4th, one day prior to the DOD's denial of additional help, Abbott warned that there are, quote, more buses on the way. Texas has allegedly sent more than 6,500 immigrants to D.C. and is now in the process of sending illegal aliens from the border to New York City. I think California should be next on the list as well. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.